What's going on, y'all? This is Oddisee from Washington, D.C., and you are tuning into OFIVE. Peace. I'm Oddisee. My real name is Amir. I come from Washington, D.C. My father comes from Sudan. My mother's from Washington, D.C. That's where I was raised. I fell in love with hip-hop at a very young age. I had a lot of family members who would travel back and forth to New York and bring back a lot of hip-hop records, and I would listen to them at home, and a lot of my friends got into music as well, and I was just surrounded by a lot of musical people at a very young age. There's a lot of influences from my ethnicity in my music. As a child, I would always go back and forth to Sudan, and my father plays oud, which is a musical instrument played in the Middle East. My mother sings, my grandmother sings and plays guitar, and I would always mix the elements of the percussion styles into my own music, so definitely a lot of influence.
Yeah, and you were there from the start, told me to be aware of the shocks and prepare for the dark. You kept the secrets, you practiced what you were preaching against. Your inner demons were praying to tear apart. You won't admit, but you competed just a little bit. I can tell you be heated over little shit, telling me to quit trying and get real. I got a little shine, you was like big deal.
Production-wise, I prefer using everything. I don't like to have any limitations on anything that I do, whether it be live instruments, samples, MIDI instruments, electronic. I like to fuse all of those things, to be honest. If I could compare my art form to another art form, I would think it would be closest to cooking. I often find that a lot of times that when I'm cooking, I feel like I'm making a beat. You look through different records to take small samples and you mix things, and sometimes you don't often know the result of what it's going to be. You're surprised or you're disgusted, you know, one of those things. So I find that when I'm cooking, it's kind of the same feeling. Beauty and all, the message I was trying to convey was simply one that the smallest things that we take for granted are some of the biggest things that we should appreciate, that everything is a part of a whole. This title came to me when I was walking down the street one day, and I noticed a crack in a glass of a window of a neighbor, and then behind that crack she had a whole bunch of plants. And I had never noticed the plants before, but I only noticed the plants this time because there was a massive crack in her glass. So it was the imperfection of the glass that made me notice the plants. And that's kind of what made me realize the subject of the record. The main focus for my music, whether it be the production or the lyrics, is my travels. You know, the outside environment really plays a huge part in what I make. I write all my rhymes outside, you know. I do a lot of traveling. Not necessarily, my travels aren't really based around finding samples, but more so experience and influence. Everywhere where I go, I get an influence from that city, that town, that country, and it finds its way back into my music. I always have a nice time whenever I come to Paris, and I wake up in like a different city every day. It's kind of hard to even remember, when was that show last year? I don't even remember. It was here, same stage, but what time of year was that? Was that November? I think it was something like that. It was an amazing show. I definitely remember that. I remember this girl running up on stage at that show and jumping on me and then running off the stage. That's never happened before. So definitely that was something exclusive to hear. Yeah.
Hey, yo, this so real. Now no one was ahead, but I'ma go this still. Living in the moment, got a hopeless feel. But the feeling in itself got its own appeal. I'm attracted to the lights in the distance. The closer that I get and the brighter my wish gets. Excited by the risk and the chances I'm taking. Not sure what I'm putting my faith in, but I'ma be alright.
I think that the media controls one specific perception of hip-hop, but that is a form of hip-hop. It is. Materialism, misogyny, objectifying women is a part of hip-hop. Conscious lyrics, rapping about society and the current events is a part of hip-hop. However, one makes more money than the other, so they focus on that one. There isn't a problem with the message that hip-hop delivers. There's a problem with the balance. There isn't enough balance as far as the different types of messages, but we need everything. If you go into a club on a Friday night, you don't want to hear someone preaching to you about how they should be lowering taxes in a song. You want somebody who's going to make you dance. So there's a balance missing, but there's nothing wrong with the music itself. Hip-hop is not a living thing. Hip-hop is not a single organism. It's not some individual thing. It's a concept. It's an idea. It's a form of music where it's a music that was created off having no rules, no guidelines whatsoever. So if you are a music that's ran by people that do what they want to do, I'm going to do what I want to do, and you're going to do what you want to do. And that's very hip-hop, and that will never change about hip-hop.
I'm attracted to the lights in the distance. The closer that I get and the brighter my wish gets. Excited by the risk and the chances I'm taking. Not sure what I'm putting my faith in, but I'ma be alright.